Hello, this is the Provoked Prawn, and this is Cuisine Royale. This is a tips and tricks video centering around guns. I've been asked a few times now what the best guns are in the game, or what my preference is for the ones I'd use. Now, obviously the best guns that you can get will vary depending on your personal preference. For example, I really like the PTRS, the PZB-39, the Bazooka, the Panzer Shrek, the M4A1, the Steyr AUG. All those guns are really hard to come by. You'll either get them from an orbital fridge, a camo fridge, or if you're really lucky you'll find them on somebody's dead body that you've managed to kill. This video is for the most part going to be talking about the guns that you can find more easily that I really enjoy. Here you can see the PTRS, one shot kill, brilliant gun. Really fun to use, very hard to come by, only has 5 shots in it, so you don't have much chance to kill baddies anyway, but it is great. However, now I want to talk about the guns that are easier to come by, one of which is the Sten. This is a classic British weapon from World War II, a 32-shot SMG that is easy to find in the game and does a fair amount of damage. The AK-47 is also easier to find than it used to be and is also very good. You'll note that you can also put a scope on that. A ×4 scope or a ×6 scope on the AK does some serious damage. The Sten, however, is brilliant at close range, very good to use in most occasions. Put on bullet time and you'll find you can get quite a few kills. Now, another pro tip for you very quickly is that you can put a lot of guns onto semi-auto mode, and that is single shot mode, so you press the fire button, you only get one shot instead of full auto. You can do that with the AK-47, for example, and I'd highly recommend doing that. It's the best way to use it. Other weapons that you can do it with include the Browning 1918, which is another machine gun of sorts, and that is far more accurate in that mode. It's also worth noting that the PPD, which I'll show you later on, is also able to go on semi-shot mode, which seems a bit nuts, but means you can use it at a longer range. The semi-auto variant allows you to then get a lot more shots down more accurately, and prevents you from wasting bullets. This game is very much a close range game most of the time, so it is worth using SMGs and things like that in full auto. Now I talk about DMRs or semi-auto rifles. I like these guns a lot, but not all of them. The AVS-36, for example, I'll tend to avoid. However, you can see me using it here. However, I do really like the Geweher 41 and 43, and it's worth noting that the ammo for those two guns is interchangeable. So if you find a Geweher 43 and then you later on in the game you find a Geweher 41 or ammo for that, you can pick that up and you can use that ammo interchangeably. Other weapons in this sort of variant that I really enjoy, the M1 Garand and the M1 Carbine. The SVT-40 is okay. Another brilliant SMG is the MP40. It's a bit slower firing than the Sten Gun, but it has a similar size magazine and is very effective. Proning with all weapons is a great way to become more accurate and to get a lot more kills more easily. People also don't expect you to go prone in the middle of a firefight, so I often find if I'm being shot at, quickly prone and then start shooting back at them. That does expose your head to shots, so you might find you get shot in the head a lot more, but it also makes you more accurate and less of a target. Using cover is obviously very important. Here my two friends have been gunned down. I want to get in and rescue them, but I can see there's multiple enemies in the middle, so I'm trying to use cover before I go in there. There's no point in charging in to save my friends only to get killed by other people. So sometimes you have to leave your friends to die. You can always get their hearts once you've dealt with all the enemies, and then get to a fire pit and revive them, so that's another solution. Another gun that you'll find scattered around the game quite a lot, very easy to find, is the M3 grease gun. This is a tiny little thing, but it packs a reasonable amount of ammo. It's not particularly accurate or deadly, but it does get the kills. And it is quite good to use and very easy to find ammo for, so it's worth having. Now onto one of my favourite guns in the game, the PPD. This gun is absolutely monster at close range. It's not terribly good at long range. As I said, you can put it on single shot and therefore use it at long to medium range a bit more accurately, but really it's all about the close quarters battle. If you have a PPD on full auto and use the Ritual Steady Hand or bullet time, you can put down a lot of rounds very quickly in a very accurate manner. And you see me doing it here, just destroying people. It's also worth noting that the PPD has another variant, the PPSH. Both those guns have interchangeable ammo, same as the Geweher 41 and the Geweher 43, which means if you find mags for either, you can use them in either gun, it doesn't matter, so it's a great way to get loads of ammo. PPD also holds around 71 bullets as standard, so does the PPSH, which means you have a lot more bullets to put down a lot more quickly. You will see it's very fast firing. It's also not terribly accurate at range though. It is very much close quarters, so you need to fire it in bursts if you're firing at a long range. Another solid favourite is the STG. This is basically the forefather of the AK in real life. Again, put this on semi-auto, which unbelievably I was firing it on semi-auto there, and it is very effective at short to medium range and even long range. Another pro tip for you here is if you come across a machine gun nest that is a potential threat to you, you can shoot, pan or hit those guns until they get destroyed. That bunker there had a machine gun that would have killed me if these guys had got inside it, and I knew I was going to run away from it because it was outside the zone, so I took it out before I started going down the hill so they couldn't shoot me in the back with it. You can shoot them, you can hit them with an uber pan, or just keep meleeing them and they'll destroy. It is worth noting you can do that from a distance as well, so if you see somebody in a bunker you can shoot them and take them out. Now the MG42 is another excellent gun that you can find. It's not uber rare, but it is quite rare. It is very fast firing. Unfortunately, you can't put this one on semi-auto, but you can see how inaccurate it is. If you try and shoot it standing up, you need to go prone for most of the time. However, if you have the ritual steady hands on or bullet time, it is again really accurate and very powerful. It also has a 50-shot mag, but it takes ages to reload, so there's a bit of a trade-off. That gun just there was the UMP45. That's a new gun that's reasonably easy to find. It's very effective. Not as good as the MP5, which I've seen and prefer, but you do find the UMP45 around the map a bit more, so it's worth grabbing. It has a smaller magazine than the likes of the Sten or the MP40 though, so those are probably preferable, although this does fire a little bit quicker. Another tip I have for you is to listen out for baddies. Here, one of the guys has activated a werewolf ability and is charging at my friend. He hears it, I hear it coming, and he says he's coming for him. I activate bullet time just at the last moment and manage to get the shots into him before he can melee me enough, and we end up winning the game because of it. Bullet time, by the way, is my favourite special ability and I highly recommend it. Here I want to show you the SCAR-L, very hard to get hold of but a very good gun. If you use the ritual of low recoil it becomes very effective. I'm going to show you what the ritual of low recoil is like with the PPD. It is ridiculously accurate. It also means you don't need to aim as much. You can just spray in their direction. You can see there's not as much recoil and it becomes very, very dangerous. Another tip for you is you don't always have to run to the center of the circle. If you're in a situation where you're at the edge of the safe zone and the blue is coming, it's worth sticking to the edge and moving with it because you might find there's less baddies and you're not surrounded. Here, another good lineup for you, the DP27, a very good machine gun. It fires a bit slower than the others, only takes a 47-shot magazine. Here you can see I haven't got much ammo for it. It's a bit slower firing, which makes it a bit more accurate than, say, the MG42. And it's better at range. You can really tap out those shots. If you want a very accurate machine gun, the Browning 1918 is the one to go for. You can put that on semi-auto, you can lay down, you can shoot over a long distance with it. DP27 is a bit slower firing than the MG42 though, which means you can get a few good shots in quite easily. Also, if you use steady hands or bullet time, it makes it very, very accurate too. Another quick tip there that you might have seen is put the grenade trap, if you have it down on enemy bodies, if you can't pick up the decent loot, and just leave it there for someone to come and get. You'd be surprised how many times that'll get you a kill. There you can see how effective bullet time is with the DP27. Excellent gun. I'm going to show you it a bit more in action. This one is a bit easier to sort of run and gun with versus the MG42, which if you start spraying will basically shoot the sky. You can see there. As long as you don't hold the trigger down permanently, it's okay. Whenever I can, I try and prone with it. But if you can't and you've got bullet time, you can use it a bit more accurately like that. It's also good fun if you manage to get the upper hand on somebody, like this guy who thought he could full auto a PPD at close range and completely missed me, and I managed to get him with a DP instead. Now, another gun that you'll come across is the Tommy gun 1921 AC. That has a drum magazine with 50 shots in it. That's probably my preferable one. You can find out another one, the 1912, I believe. It looks like a similar gun. Unfortunately, the ammo is interchangeable. It isn't interchangeable on that one. It has stick magazines instead. So there are two different variants of the Thompson submachine gun. The one with 50 shots is a bit faster firing, but the sights on it aren't quite as good. It probably is a little bit more inaccurate, but you get more ammunition for it, so you can fire a lot more. However, you won't find that as much on the game as you will the one with the shorter clip that you can see here that has a slightly better sight to it and is probably worth grabbing. Shotguns I tend to avoid for the most part. The Luftwaffe drilling is incredibly powerful and usually a one-shot kill. Otherwise the Browning Auto 5 is awesome. Now back onto DMRs, the M1 Garand is probably my favourite. They didn't used to give you much ammo for this gun, but they do now. And you can put a 6x scope on it and make it ridiculously long range. It's also very accurate, and if you can pull the trigger quickly, you can fire off a lot of rounds very quickly and very accurately. Use bullet time again, makes it ridiculous. Now you should say bullet time for SMGs, but you'll see it's just as effective with a weapon like this, a semi-auto weapon. You can put down a lot of rounds very quickly and very accurately over a long distance and get some kills. Here I'm going to quickly show you the difference with proning as well. Prone, guy doesn't see where I am, shoot him in the back. Very quick and easy. Now a quick shot to show you one of the best guns in the game, absolutely devastating, the M4A1. New gun, very hard to get hold of. Once you get it though, it is absolutely mental. It's managed to smash out a load of baddies here and had a great time with it. You can't put a scope on it though, which is lucky because it would be even more insane. It's very hard to get hold of, but it's a lot of fun to play with. This has all been personal opinion, of course. You're free to disagree with me. Let me know in the comments what your favourite guns are. Hope you found this useful. Don't forget, prone, try semi-auto, fire in bursts, and enjoy. Thanks for watching. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Hope you found this video useful, interesting or hilarious. Be sure to subscribe and check out these other videos, as well as taking a look in the description for links and other information you might find useful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or anything you'd like to see extra about this, and have a great life.